SD Knight Unicorn Gundam. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert, 1D4, 2 R's, 2 B's, gundam.tk. Happy today to be bringing you a look at this, the SD. It's the Knight Unicorn Gundam from the Legend BB line. It's time to take the regular unicorn, which we've seen all sorts of times in Gunpla form, and turn it into something a little bit more old school medieval. Late 2013 release. Eye-catching green cover art here from Bandai and Sunrise, and there's the name in English and Japanese. Number 385, what a successful line that is, and it's very reasonably priced, only 1,000 yen. And for models of knights, tanks, fighter planes, sci-fi and beyond, don't forget to check out Hobby Link Japan. There's links below. There's a long tradition with SD Gundams to take them back in time when they're going to be super deformed. Whether it's the Warring States periods or just plain old knights and wizards and more, it's always sort of cool to see that a Gundam will eventually graduate into the old manga series and the silly animes. But we got to see it with things like Alex and F91 as they just would get added, and the Unicorn Gundam has now established itself well enough that it needs to be given to go back in time and join the ranks of its other more feudalistic brethren. And while the out-of-universe explanation is that the unicorn sells and so does Legend BB, well, here's the in-universe story, so feel free to freeze frame. Check this out when he's in his unicorn mode. This guy just looks absolutely fantastic. Instead of being the all-plain white guy that we're used to with the dark blue feet, instead he's going to have some little pips of gold all over the place, and those pips provided, of course, by seals. But you can see his green eyes through there. That's just a hint of the color. It's not going to be the raging red. Folded up shield. You can also see the big gun in his hands. It's going to be the Magnum sword with the name there. And he's also going to have a gold ponytail that you can see to go along with the Starscream cape there, if you've seen the Masterpiece or the old school movie. And though many, including myself, were very curious / lamented its plain form in the novels before it actually went into destroy mode, well, what are they going to be calling it here? Beast mode, yes, let's go back to Beast Wars as well. But you can see the sword in hand, but look at that, the shield is going to be open with the green parts showing out, which are now going all over the body, and that gold ponytail. We had a white unicorn horn actually done up in plastic. Now it's going to be open with some chrome mechy gold it's pointing out there. You can see that he lost the ponytail, but he still gets to keep his regal cape. But this is incredible. Right away, you may be inclined to go get 2 of these for your shelves to keep them in both modes. And the front and the back are the focus of most here, but you can see in hands he's going to have some dynamic emotion hands there for the right, and he's going to be handing over his business card and introducing himself to his other Knights of the Round Table. And as if a transforming SD Gundam for 1,000 yen wasn't enough, look at this. It's a third form. First of all, though, you are going to have the options. You've got 4 different sets of eyes that you can choose, and it's going to be easy to swap the head in forward and back so you can have 2 on there. Well, then basically just get rid of the other 2. But check that out down in the corner. You've got the Legend BB. This is the regular Knight Gundam, where you can actually go take the legs of the horse there and put this Knight Unicorn Gundam up on top and make him go look like a proper centaur. But how about that? If his beast mode wasn't angry enough, look at that. With his V-fin, it gets even angrier with a bigger green jewel there, now in a rounded form. And this is his ultimate battle version. Is anybody going to go get 3 of this guy? Well, the action poses in the green may lead us to say, yes, I'd probably be getting more if they had a red frame version. You know they may do that in the future. So what are you going to be getting? Well, right out of the box, you can see tons of colors down there. Plated parts looking good, lots of seals as you'd expect. That's going to be providing the gold around the body. And you can see his masked mode looking okay in unicorn mode. Actually, I'd say beyond okay. Pretty cool. Lining is going to be required if you want to make it like a pro that we see on the other side. But when he goes into beast mode, this is looking awesome, even without the ultimate form. But that clear green on the shoulder, can't wait to see how they're going to be pulling it off. Inside the BB box we go, where you're going to be getting small bags, it looks like here, with some big seals, the A-plates cut down, some ugly gold in there, ooh, some Starscream cape purple there to go along with the shiny gold there, and the all-important green inner frame. Yes, answer the survey, and check out that cool cover art again, if you like cartoony eyes. A1 and A2 separated at birth are going to be giving you a chunk of actual plastic here, and any concerns about the 1,000 yen price tag, when you see the amount of plastic in terms of the different colors on the other upcoming plates, in these 2, it definitely seems more than sufficient. But the amount of details that are going to be carved on here, incredibly impressive. Love the front face there as you've got the swappable eyes behind there. These edges, or these parts for the lining, they just look a little bit too thin. But otherwise, when you can just see here that all of these parts are going to be exposing inner frame which we've all come to love so much over the years, so much so that we retroactively added them, well, not us, but Bandai, of course, to the new Gundam. You can see all of these little parts just asking for things, and look at the little details that they go to the trouble of. If you wanted to paint this guy up, you could make him actually look quite spectacular, or so the plastic would seem to be indicating. With A2 being even more impressive, check out that angry knight mask there. This is the kind of thing that makes me want to have two of these kits, one in each mode, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out there that do the same. Bandai chuckling with glee since the first MG Unicorn has come out. There you can see that they're also going to have some markings carved in there, some good lining options. Look at the details in terms of the fine parts there. Again, if you wanted to do this up properly, never mind Warhammer detail, it just would look fantastic. And one of my favorite parts is going to be down here, the unicorn horn. Yes, it seemed ridiculous when it first came out like this all those years ago in Gundam Ace, but now this is actually going to be bigger than the MGs when it's folded up, and it's looking very cool as you get to ascend to the stars. It's actually not a loop, but nonetheless, looks really good and the kind of thing that just craves some extra detailing. Love that the BB Senshis are adding more hands so you can emote with them. It's the kind of thing the master grades seem to be regressing, whereas these ones are going forward. There you can see him carrying his old ID badge. Open hand for dramatic pause, and if you're going to be holding a blade, you need some closed fists over there. The feet are going to be a little bit boring on the top anyway, but nonetheless, check out this big angry blade. Would have been sort of cool though if they had some angry green psycho frame come out of that in its transform mode, but then again, the focus is going to be on the shield for that. But before we even get to the good green, there's some good stuff here. BB, as you get to see, Knight Unicorn going to be written up there on the plates. The nice looking purple there, offset, as you've also got a holding piece to keep it all in place. I can't help but be reminded of the proper Masterpiece Starscream when I see this. And yes, Galvatron, here's a hint, or so he said. But the run of good things, well, slows down here because what do we have? Ugly gold. Well, I don't know what else I expected, but they could have bumped up the price, you figure, for 100 yen and given us two proper things, because if you've actually got 2/3 of the pieces involved in this actually done up proper gold, just seems a little bit of a waste. Then again, a gold spray can, if you have two different shades of shiny gold, may not be all that bad. You can see some nice details in there if you want to go Sengoku style and again detail it up. But overall, with the seals, hopefully it's going to be looking good, and it won't be that detestable if you put this underneath the fantastic looking D2 plate. So what do you have on this side? Ugly silver, but that's okay because this is the part that's going to be out on display. As you can just see here, the offset. Yes, of course, we'd all like more of this. Painted up, still going to be better, but Bandai, I'd pay an extra 100 yen, and you've got to wonder for the buying demographic for the unicorns, if it's going to be kids buying this BB, or if it actually is going to be the adults. Then again, paint it yourself. But if bad gold leaves a bad taste in your mouth, well, how about this? The E-plate looking absolutely spectacular. If you saw the 00 kits, they're going to be nice and sparkly like the action bases and some of the effect parts there. But this is just awesome. I just love the way that you're going to be able to put these parts inside, and they're going to be shown off when you expose them in his angry mode. But even more so, if you've got the white underneath and these green parts on the top, can't wait to see how this is actually going to work in practice. Everything from the shield parts to the chest part to everything else is looking sparkly. It just makes me want to get this guy into destroy mode all the sooner. And I wonder, the night mode, will I want a second one once this awesome thing is on display on the regular shelf? But highs and lows to be expected when you're spending 1,000 yen for an SD kit that especially tries to cram in so many details, and never mind a transformation. But the 4 sets of eyes, that's always a big plus there. You can see some gold and silver interspersed, some nice little green parts there, also with the sparkle effect. And look at all of that gold over there. You can add it. You can see, though, that they also gave you that in raised plastic, so you can go and do it up properly yourself. Sort of cool the way they went for the cracked effect over there. Going to be interesting to see exactly how these white parts and the green ones are going to be deployed, and how good is it going to be where we see the raw green plastic, the green on the white, and the seals on the white. It's obviously going to be quite different, but then again, if they get all the eye-catching parts on the front done up properly, it may be fantastic when you're talking about a reasonable and fun take-home price. Love the art there as you've got him in his mysterious masked mode, and then when you go inside, no color splash pages, but tons of plates. Again, for 1,000 yen, some of them being mechy, no complaints, especially with that sparkly green in there. You can see the choices. The head is actually going to take a fair bit of 2 rows to build. The 4 different sets of eyes there as you're going to be putting it together with his mask on. Get the unicorn horn on, and then it's time to put together the chest and the arms, and you're already going to have him in his regular mode there. But then it's time to have some fun as you flip the shoulders down, get him all caped up, and once you build up the weapons, Then we can see how to get him into his beast mode here. So you're going to be popping off the side skirts and the legs, moving up the ankle armor, opening up the shoulders. That looks intriguing. And making sure that you insert these E-parts, so make sure they're at hand. The wingalings are coming off on the sides of his ears, and you're going to take the ponytail, pop that open, mask up, and then put on that nice gold piece there and make sure it's all open. And the shield has a pretty interesting gimmick as it swings and slides forward there as well. And for his ultimate mode, it looks like the shoulders pop off and you reverse the front left and the right there. We've seen this kind of trick with the unicorn before, mostly on the head. And then it's time for that big, angrier V-fin there. You're also going to have to switch the hands around when you do this, I suppose, with the Magnum Sword, making sure that you've got the bottom part attached back onto it. And if you want to put him into his Mutos mode there, well, you're going to have to go out and buy a Knight Legend BB, Knight Gundam there, and then you can take the bottom half of the horse and attach that on. They're going to be telling you to make sure you have to take care of the balance, so that's always a worrying sign, but it's a nice bonus and part of the BB Senshi intercompatibility. And it's always worth a laugh here from Comic World, as that's what I like to see there. You'd figure they would have put out the red before the green, and you get to see both modes down there. No mention of the Banshee yet, but you know that he's inevitable, Norn and all. For me, it feels like the Legend BB line is going from strength to strength here. New characters, old characters, and interesting old mixes on new guys here. In the case of the Knight Unicorn, I just think it's perfect. But 3 different forms, can't wait to see how it's going to work. It looks like the transformation is not overly complicated there. They did a very good job with the original ST. Can't wait to see this one. So stick around to see it all put together. One more part for this review. And please let me know what you think with a comment down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya. Sigh. We've never been invited to retroactively join a 1980s manga about knights either.